Hello fellow YouTubers, it's Slavka Labamka back. I haven't made a video in a while. It's been crazy year, as you know, with the COVID and everything, but I've been doing great, been trucking, business is good. Hope everything's well with you guys. Anyways, what I want to talk about today, I want to show you how to get unlimited Wi-Fi internet anywhere in continental United States. And this is something that's relevant for everyone. Truckers like myself, boaters, RVers, anybody living in the rural area where you don't have broadband access. Millions of Americans outside of large cities don't have affordable or high-speed internet, for that matter, available to them. So I'm going to show you how to get unlimited, truly unlimited Wi-Fi or Ethernet, doesn't matter, but data plan, how to set it up, how to get the router, what it looks like, and I'll have the links below to the router that I'm going to show you from the vendor that I purchased it from, and let's go from there. I apologize in advance for background noise. That's my APU running. I'm near Billings, Montana. It's almost 106 degrees out here, so gotta have air conditioner in the truck. But as many of you travelers, truckers, anybody, you know, we have a lot of devices now, laptops, iPads, smart TVs, printers, things like that. They all need connectivity and they all internet-work. And one of the biggest challenges I've had in the past, I've used hotspot tethering on my iPhone. I used the Verizon jetpacks. They all lacking one critical feature, is that they're not truly unlimited plans. With the tethering on the iPhone, you may have unlimited data plan with your phone, but the data that you actually use for tethering is limited. In the case of Verizon, for example, it's 15 gigabytes of tethering, and after that it's throttled. It goes down to very slow speeds. It's practically unusable. AT&T, same way, and all the major carriers do that. So here's how I got around this issue, and let me show you. I've purchased and installed this, it's called GL-X750 4G router, 4G LTE, and what it does is it takes a SIM card that you pre-activate, and I'll show you how it looks. And basically it receives the 4G signal in these antennas and gives out the Wi-Fi hotspot, 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz for everything that's here. As you can see, my TV is working well. I can watch 1080p HD videos. I can download stuff on my laptop. I can upload YouTube video. In fact, this YouTube video will be uploaded using that. And this device is fairly small. I mean, it's about the size of my palm, really. Very easy to move around, so you can take it to your RV, take it to your boat, take it to your cabin, whatever. Hell, a lot of people use this as just their permanent internet connection at home, especially in the rural areas, and you can connect external antennas. They go out and get a higher signal boost to them, you know, put it on the mast. But in my case, this is more than enough. Anyways, let me show you the configuration and how it works, and we're gonna switch to my laptop. Well, I dismounted the GL-iNet router itself. Like I said, it's fairly straightforward. It's got the USB. You can actually tether a phone to it and use your tethered phone, and it'll retransmit the Wi-Fi from your tethered phone. So there's a number of options. But the main thing you need once you purchase it, you need to get a SIM card, and the SIM card is installed here. Now, where do I get these SIM cards? I buy SIM card kits like this. Walmart, Rite Aid, I mean, they sell them at every retail store, but they're about $1 or so. They're not activated, but like this one is for T-Mobile. I have another one for Verizon reseller, Page Plus. It's actually what's in here right now. In essence, you buy this card and you install the SIM card in there, and well, before you install it, you have to activate it. Now, all these carriers, they do not allow they don't want you to use the router or any kind of jetpack device in these SIM cards, and they'll ask you for IMEI number, which is basically a unique identification number for each wireless device. It's on a 4G LTE network. Now, The way you get around that, you basically use a burner phone to activate that. In my case, I have my old iPhone 6S, and what I do is, once I'm ready to activate the SIM card, I take it out and I put it in my old iPhone, turn it on, and then I call their customer service or go online. Depends on the carrier, and I basically tell them that I want to activate the SIM card on my iPhone. Now these are all prepaid plans, so there's no contract. With the Verizon resellers like Page Plus, there's like a $50 plan, unlimited data again for the phone. Same with the T-Mobile, there's one for AT&T, but in essence, you get a data plan that's compatible with the iPhone or something like that, or if you get the Samsung or Android device, that's fine too. It doesn't really matter. What you need to do is you need to activate the SIM card using a phone, make sure everything works. You can speed test it right off the phone. You can pay, you get the phone number, whatever. So once that process is done and the SIM card works well here, you take it out of the phone, and in the case of iPhone, the SIM port is right here. You just put a little paper clip or SIM extractor, you push down and you yank it right out, and that's where the SIM card is hiding. So you yanked it out, you have the SIM card that's activated, you install it in the back of your router, right, the SIM card slot, and you close it up. Next step, you're going to need to configure this router. This particular unit, like many of them, please check out the link below. I will have exact unit where I bought it from the same vendor on Amazon. But in essence, they all run variations of OpenWRT, which is a open source protocol or open source firmware for these routers, and they're fairly standard. They're different vendors add different interfaces to them, but in essence, it's the same thing. In this particular case, I actually flashed this router with a custom firmware, which I got it from Project Router Golden Ore, but I'll have a link below again for that one, because it specifically has more debug information and things like that. It's a enhanced version of OpenWRT specifically for 4G LTE modems and such. So, but you don't have to do that, and once we get into configuration screens, they'll be somewhat similar to its native firmware that comes with a GL-X, so it works either way. In my case, I like more advanced features in there, like band locking and other things. There's more advanced stuff that really out of scope of this particular tutorial, but eventually I may make one more targeted towards advanced users, how to configure VPN and other things. But in this video, I just want you to introduce the concept that yes, in fact, you can get unlimited internet connection anywhere in the United States and Canada, in your truck, in your boat, in your RV, in your cabin, in your house for that matter, and it doesn't have to be super expensive. So let me get the screen capture software going on my laptop, and then we'll switch over to actual configuration screens, and I'll walk you through the rest of a setup process to get this router working with the actual 4G carrier. So assuming you got the router, you have a SIM card and it's activated, you have the SIM card plugged in, and everything seems to be powered up. The next step is to configure this router. So we open the web page and we type in the default IP address 192.168.1.1. That's the standard IP address. You may want to look at the manufacturer instructions if you're using default firmware, but I believe that's the actual default address. Regardless, take a look on the back of a box or something, and it should be in there. First time you boot it up, it's not going to have password set. It's going to take you through the setup wizard kind of 1, 2, 3 step. That's where you're going to set your password. So in my case, the router is already configured, so I'm just quickly going to show you the interface you want to go to next. So once we logged in, it just presents you basic overview here. You can see various information. It's pulling up your utilization, what networks are active, what's connected right now, your wireless status, like basically summary page in essence, showing you about your router overall. So let's go and take a look what it takes to actually configure modem. So we're going to go modem and connection profile. Now this is the where you have to set what's known as APN. That's a basically text string that allows you to connect to the cellular tower to the 4G LTE carrier, depending on what SIM card you have. Now, this particular APN setting I have here is specific to Page Plus network, which is the Verizon reseller. You have to look it up for your specific carrier. So the best way to do that is just open Google and we're just going to go on Google and type in APN for Verizon, right? And yeah, right here. That's what you need. So you'll copy this. You're gonna go here and you're gonna paste it. And depending on, like I said, it's gonna change. If it's let's see, T-Mobile. Oop, boo. There we go. You're just gonna have to do a little bit of research here. There's a great resource on it's called LTE Hacks Forum, and there's also a Facebook group in there. Great guys on there. I'm on there. If you have any questions, but you can that's readily available information. Oh yeah, I typed in T-Mobile for Verizon. No, we need APN for T-Mobile. I can't type today, guys. I cannot type. All right, so yeah, I mean that's right there, fast. So most carriers publish this. It's either Reddit. You're gonna come across something like that. Yeah. So if you got the T-Mobile SIM card in there that's activated, this is the APN you want. Like I said, each carrier is going to have its own unique particular APN string. Other than that, there's really nothing else you need to set here. There's a plethora of settings. I wouldn't worry about it. This is leave it all default unless specifically instructed to do so, but that I haven't, in most US carriers, this is all you need to set. So once that's set, you save and apply. It's probably best idea to go in a system and just do a full reboot. And once the router comes up, you connect to this page and you can go and take a look at the debug information. This is real time. It shows the serial communications between modem and the router, so you can actually see the output and as it negotiates what band to use and what's not, and if there are any errors, it's going to show that information. So network status provides quite a quick overview. Like in my case, I'm connected. I have a signal strength of 87% where I'm at right now, and we're connected to band 2, and we're in the Verizon SIM, of course, channel 700, and basically that's it. So once it's up, you have the basically your wireless WAN interface is already connected. The only thing you may want to do is adjust your network settings. You need to go through your wireless setup and make sure you rename your hotspot names, enable, disable, depending on what radios you want to use, whether you're going to use 2.4 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, or both. That's up to you. This is where you configure it. And then one final thing you have to remember is that you gotta set what's known as TTL. TTL setting stands for time to live. It's in essence a value each packet of information that's transmitted over TCP/IP network. And every time a packet traverses another hop, like a router or something like that, a value is deducted. So by setting a specific TTL value, you're in essence fooling a carrier to think that the data that you're using is internal to the phone, because remember, we activated the SIM card on your phone, right? Carriers generally do not want you to use routers or consume the data, so they restrict
tethering. And the way to restrict tethering is that they have internal TTL to the phone. So the data that you use on the phone, like opening an app like YouTube and watching it on your actual phone, the internal TTL for the phone will be different than TTL for tethering some other device. So what we're doing here, and we mimicking the actual TTL setting on the phone. In this case, Verizon, for example, expects a TTL of 64. So what's happening here is that all the data leaving our router, going outside of our local LAN, local network, to the internet, every packet is marked with TTL of 64. That basically signals to the carrier, like Verizon or wherever it may be, that you that you're just using your phone data instead of tethering. Because again, the SIM that you activate may not even have the tethering feature, and it's just simply not going to work. Or if it does, it's probably limited to several gigabytes, and then you run out, and it's going to stop working. It's going to get really slow. So it's important to know the TTL value. Now, each carrier is going to have its own slightly different one, but in my case, like I said, 64 works well. Some people said 65, I believe, AT&T, but you're going to have to research that part. Now, again, this is a Project Router. It has the actual TTL settings interface, where you like nice GUI interface where you can just type it in. But if you don't have that, like for example, GL-Net default firmware does not have this. The way you can still use that, you just go in the custom rules. You'll have that tab in there, and you put these two lines in there, and I'll have that in the description. It's basically the same thing. It just when you click set something here, it just writes these custom rules. It's what it does is adds the to the IP tables. It adds the specific value that it needs. So it just tells the router all the outgoing packets, overwrite the TTL settings on them to 64 or whatever it may be. So so once you set this, you save the settings, reboot the router one more time, and at that point you should be set to go. You should, once it comes back up, give it a 2-3 minutes. You may want to watch the the modem debug. Once it's connected and everything, you should have Wi-Fi, and that's where you would go into your laptop and you would connect to your whatever name for your hotspot is. So yeah, as far as data speeds, well, that will vary depending on location you're at, time of day. It's based on congestion, type of carrier you have, because some SIM cards have higher priority than others. For example, Verizon, if you get the postpaid plan, like just directly from Verizon, you'll have higher priority, for example, than Page Plus, but it'll be more expensive. So there's a number of reasons. In my case, this is Page Plus. There's deprioritized, meaning direct Verizon customers get more get higher priority on a network. So if the network is congested in this area, let's say I'm a near Billings, Montana right now, fairly rural area, but it's a truck stop, so there's a lot of people in the area, kind of with the phones doing their thing. The network may be congested, and so I'm going to get certain speed, but then after midnight, it's going to get better. So, but let's take a look at what I'm getting right now. It's approximately 5 p.m. Mountain Time, and we'll just see what happens here. I have no idea what I'm going to get. So, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely deprioritized because I have the actual Verizon proper on my phone, and I'm getting 16 megabits download, but it's still plenty enough. I've seen it as high as 56 megabits per second in some areas. Usually like after midnight or during the day before everybody starts parking and then checking their Facebook and downloading all the stuff that people download. But this is still more than plenty of bandwidth to, for example, watch 720p videos on YouTube and so on. And remember, we were basically networked all our devices now, so we can use things like Chromecast. We can just like any, like you can share a printer over the network. You can have media server available. So that's the reason you want the router instead of having a tether to your phone, because you have unlimited amount of devices and type that you can share it with, and you're not limited to one device, one phone, or anything like that. Anyways, guys, I'm going to have the link to this router, and I'll have the IP tables so you can just copy paste it into your setup. And thanks for watching my videos, and I'll see you soon, guys.